Johannesburg's power utility is 16.3 billion rand in the red, and the mayor tried to hide it all. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but here's exactly how it went down. So, City Power is facing a looming financial meltdown. And this isn't just a minor accounting issue. We're talking about millions missing. And the worst part is that the people in charge didn't want you to know about this. According to a News 24 investigation, City Power has effectively been bankrupt since 2017. For years, it's been running negative balances and surviving off of bailouts from the city budget. And every year, they spent more money than what they made from selling electricity, and the city of Johannesburg quietly covered the shortfall. Year after year, this shell game has now blown up into a 16.3 billion rand deficit as of the end of 2024. And instead of coming clean and fixing it, the city's leadership tried to stick a band aid on a bullet wound and hope no one notices. Mayor Dada Morero, yes, the ANC mayor, seemingly buried reports detailing his entire disaster. The report from the city's own finance department, which warned about City Power's negative bank balance, was in Morero's hands by December 2024. But did he urgently share this with the city council, the people's representatives? Well, quite the opposite. He sat on it and kept it buried for months, away from the public eye and accountability. Which, if you think about it, that's not just bad governance, it's a blatant betrayal of public trust. Because by law, mayor financial problems like this are supposed to be reported. But instead, Morero's administration chose secrecy. And if you ask yourself, why would a city mayor hide a multi-billion rand budget hole? The answer isn't pretty. Maybe to save his own skin, avoid political fallout, or delay the truth until he figures out a plan. The classic ANC playbook. Conceal the crisis, pretend all is well, and hope the public stays in the dark. But nonetheless, the facts are out now, and they are quite damning. City Power's 16.3 billion rand negative balance jeopardized the municipality's ability to deliver services and remain financially sustainable. In plain English, this threatens every service the city provides. Internal documents from the city reportedly warn of a looming collapse of services in Johannesburg if this all keeps up. And one vivid statement pulled from the report says that City Power is unable to pay for its current liabilities. That means it can't pay suppliers, it can't maintain infrastructure, it can't even buy enough electricity from Eskom to supply us. If City Power goes down, it could drag the city with it. In fact, News 24's journalist Kaya Koko found City Power isn't collecting nearly enough money from customers, so the city has been pulling billions from other departments to keep the lights on, taking funds from things like road repairs or public safety to bail out the electricity utility. It's unsustainable and it's unfair to every resident who expects those other services as well. Now, any responsible leader would raise the alarm. They'd come to us, the public, and say, we have a crisis, here's how we plan to fix it. But what did our esteemed mayor do? He formed a bomb squad, and I kid you not, that's what he called his new task team for service delivery. Instead of focusing squarely on City Power's financial apocalypse, Mayor Morero's big idea in his State of the City address was to launch something called a Service Delivery Bomb Squad. Again, another committee created by the same people responsible for the problem. Now, he put the ANC veteran in charge of it all, and their mission, everything but fixing the actual finances. Things like filling potholes, chasing cable thieves, dealing with illegal squatters, you name it. But the real twist is this: there's no clear funding plan for the bomb squad at all. Johannesburg needs an estimated 200 billion rand to fix its crumbling infrastructure.
Reclaiming the inner city from illegal occupants and crime, upgrading water and electricity infrastructure, and stabilizing the metro's finances. Those are just some of the key areas outlined by the Johannesburg mayor when he delivered his State of the City address.
Yet, the mayor's answer is a PR stunt with a fancy title and no money to back it. Even his fellow council members and opposition parties saw through it. They've labeled the bomb squad as a gimmick and a distraction from the real issue, which is the massive financial rot at City Power. Now, let's talk about how they got into this mess in the first place. Because believe me, it didn't happen overnight. It took years of mismanagement, corruption, and yes, ANC governance to dig this hole. The Auditor-General issued a devastating report recently where it found that City Power lost 2.8 billion rand in 12 months, ending in June 2024. And another 4.9 billion rand in that same year was irregular expenditure. Think about that. Nearly 5 billion in potential dodgy or wasteful spending in one single year. The Auditor-General was so alarmed that they questioned whether City Power could continue as a viable business at all. In simpler terms, they are saying that the City Power might not survive and it's basically on life support. The News 24 investigation even called the City Power on the verge of collapse. And if City Power collapses, it's not just a line in a balance sheet, it means lights out. Johannesburg has already been suffering with regular unplanned blackouts because of crumbling infrastructure. Just this March, a thunderstorm knocked out power all over the city, and City Power received 5,000 outage calls in one single evening. The utility then admitted its equipment is old and failing. But then the big question is, where did all this money go? How does a power company in a major city lose billions upon billions? Well, in one word, corruption. Under the ANC's watch, City Power has been treated as a gravy train for a well-connected handful. So let me give you an example of this all. City Power paid 12 million rand upfront to a contractor for a project before any work was done. Yes, they've just handed over 12 million rand of taxpayers' money without thinking twice. And it turns out the contractor was politically connected. He is the younger brother of Ben Moseme, a known ANC benefactor. Internal staff at City Power flagged that payment as illegal, warning that it broke procurement laws and the Municipal Finance Management Act. Now, apparently, they did try and stop it, but of course, they were overruled and instructed to pay anyway. This is what BE and cadre deployment have come to mean under the ANC. Giving jobs and contracts to friends and relatives, regardless of whether they can do the job. What began as an effort to lift people up has drifted into little more than a smokescreen for inside favoritism, and City Power is a textbook case of this. When you fill a critical company with poor appointments and even fake qualifications, which by the way has been reported as another issue at City Power, you get crumbling systems. Competence takes a backseat to political loyalty, and sadly, we, the ordinary residents, take the hit. So where is the necessary accountability? In a functioning democracy, heads would roll for this kind of failure. People would be fired, maybe even prosecuted. But under the ANC, it's business as usual. Corruption scandals in municipalities across the country, from the Free State to KZN, and now a 16 billion rand scandal in the economic heart of South Africa, Johannesburg. The ANC has been in power in Johannesburg for most of the last 29 years, and this is their track record. essential services on the brink of collapse. They can't even keep the lights on in a city of gold. And believe me, this city power debacle is just one part of a bigger failure. The national power utility was run into the ground by the same mix of ANC corruption and incompetence. And now City Power is echoing the same story. News 24's investigative journalism blew this whole thing open. And now, at the very least, the public knows about it. And knowledge is power. So now that we know, what do we do with this information? Well, for one, demand answers. Mayor Morero needs to answer to the council and to the residents. How exactly does he plan to fix this mess? Or was he just hoping for another bailout from the national government or some miracle? Will we see anyone fired at City Power for this disaster? As one frustrated commenter put it on LinkedIn, under this ANC, there will be absolutely zero consequences. Just another day in the ANC government. But it really doesn't have to be this way. Johannesburg is a city of talented, hardworking people. We have the resources and know-how to fix our municipality if we can just get the politics right. That means electing leaders who are honest and who care about keeping the lights on rather than lining their pockets. Anyway, let me know what you think about this whole debacle in the comments.